Go. And welcome back to Tea and Taboos, people. I'm Tracy, coming in from behind there. Hello.
Hello, my love, and I'm Alana. Welcome back, guys. Just thinking tea and taboo. It's funny because we're both just sitting here and we drink coffee. We told you all. We prefer Canadian coffee.
You're not supposed to give away us.
I know. But we can't find anything that rhymes with coffee that sounds as good or catchy. Coffee and catch up, coffee and chat just doesn't have the same ring to it. Tea and taboo.
No.
Anyway.
So how do you like my spring tulips?
I was going to say spring
and rainbows and
sunshine and
blues.
rain.
And what are we talking about today? We're talking about boys and girls and everything in between.
Represent, guys. Represent for the queer community. But I can't get to attached, so it might flop off in a sec. But I don't actually have anything rainbow.
It kind of like says that sometimes you're LGBTQ, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have anything rainbow colored, which is quite funny actually, because being of the queer community, I think it's almost like what's the word that I'm looking for? You almost have to have something queer in your house. So there you go. That's my queer thing.
Is that important?
No, it almost seems like it's like you have to have a sticker or something to be like, I support you guys.
Well,
that's what we live in these days.
One of my neighbors has a rainbow flag.
There you go. There you go. I thought about doing it to my hair stuff, right?
Saying that, I do like colourful streets and colourful houses, it's all
yeah.
So I mean, I'd rather have my roads looking like a rainbow, just if anybody's asking.
Yes. Brighton has got all the multicolored houses in Brighton, and I remember driving down to the coast, all those multicolored pink houses, blue, yellow.
St. John's in Nova Scotia, I think it is, or somewhere out on the far east coast of Canada. They've got, I noticed it in Republic of Doyle.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got some, they're really pretty, and they're not the only places. There's lots of little places that've got colourful homes. So yeah, when it comes to rainbow nations and stuff like that, I think we should paint all of our colour. We should be more colourful with our paints.
Absolutely, especially in the UK, when it's always grey and dismal and raining, kind of like today. I actually did that at work. Oh, sorry, cat. I actually did that last week or a couple of weeks ago at work. It was really grey out, and I wore the most yellow, obnoxious dress ever because I was I'm manifesting in the sun. If I can dress up like the sun and as bright, maybe the sun and me will kind of get each other's lingo and it might come out of hiding. That's what I'm doing. I'm manifesting.
It's like you're doing a sun dance, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Come out wherever you are. Well, actually, that's the fairy from Wizard of Oz. come out.
Oh, now we're talking about fairies. But here we are, guys. We've been sitting here wondering how to broach the subject of the people who are transitioning from male to female or female to male. And
yes.
I say we, but I think it's more I have a conundrum. I want to know why these boys who literally had the world at their feet would want to become second-class citizens with the right to wear a dress.
Yeah.
And they can't tell me I'm wrong, because I've seen stories around where your trans men or your men become women, and the engineers and technicians and stuff, but suddenly, because they're now wearing a dress and may have boobies and no penis, this is a bad thing, and suddenly they've lost their brains. Hello, people. Did you know that if it wasn't for a certain woman, none of you would be flicking away playing Star Wars on your frickin' computers and stuff? And it was a woman who did that, So it's just so, it is weird, because throughout, clever women have been pushed to the side for years.
Yes, absolutely.
And they've had to pretend to be men, and now there's these gentlemen. I understand that you want to be something else. Hey, I want to be something else. I wanted to be growing up, right?
You almost do. That was with me as well, right? Because I always I think I actually said this when we first talked about our gender video way back when we were first starting this channel, and it was like because I always sort of grew up as a tomboy, and it was almost like looking at girls, and I was like, oh, do I fancy them? Do I want to be like them? Because I dress like a guy, right? I was like, should I be a boy because I like boy things and I'm not like looking cool and wearing stilettos like all the other girls. So I think like at some point someone always sort of goes in their head and figures out, who do I want to be? Like, who do I want to identify as
Yeah,
in
and
life?
it takes time.
Yeah, it does take time. So long, I'm like all for everyone, but it's when you go and push it down other people's throats. Like, you should believe this, you should believe that, and it's like, no, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone has feelings, and so long as you're not being cruel about it, because you know, in this, and people might yell at me for this, you know, and there are genderless baby showers, right? That's fine. They're just like, we don't want to know the baby yet, so genderless, neutral,
Yellow's
gender
a great color for
yeah,
gender
exactly.
neutral.
But when it's and this is just my opinion, so again I might get really hated for this, but when you have parents who say, oh, they're them, when it's perhaps a little boy, because then that's very confusing to the child,
I
right?
would
That's where
imagine
it's
so.
to me, that's where it's a bit of a gray area to me. I'm like, I understand that, I understand identity, I understand fluidness, I understand that you don't want to put gender norms on your child, but maybe wait until they're a bit older, maybe
To
wait
understand. Well,
to understand, to have the conversation, like, do you that's okay that you like to wear dresses, like, would you prefer to wear dresses, but don't like force it on them at such a young
yeah,
age when
no,
their
I
brain
mean,
clicking and trying to
my
figure out things.
my own son was wandering around in my high heel shoes, and the only reason why I said to him stop doing it is because he'd break the arch.
Yeah, or
You
break his
know,
neck.
well, yeah, no.
On those
Actually,
heels.
I'm not entirely sure that that was a thought that went through my head. It was just break. You're going to break my shoes.
You're just like, oh,
Don't break my shoes.
mummy's
Or
heels,
he'd get
darling.
hold of my makeup and going, "No, you just made a mess of my." You know, if you're going to do it properly. Don't make a mess, boy. But I mean,
That's hilarious.
he's as straight as they come. You know.
There you go. There you go.
You know,
And that,
and I
yeah.
grew up wanting to be a boy because I saw all these things that boys had, only to find out as I got older in life that my name is actually trendy for a girl's name, a boy's
Yeah.
name, and a
Yeah.
surname.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
You know,
there you go.
So yeah, I could be anything.
Yeah, and you're a tomboy like me, right? It's like,
Very much
oh
so.
no,
It was my mother who wanted the pretty
yeah.
dresses.
Even me, like, yeah, even some days, like, I can be like really girly, like today I'm wearing florals, but then other times I want to dress like a guy and be really grungy and wear like a waistcoat. And just, I was especially androgynous when I had like my really short hair, I'd like do it up with that pompadour kind of style, like slick it back. You remember I'd wear my little blazers, and
I was told I looked homeless yesterday, so I understand.
This is another thing we wanted to, and we're just being aware of time because I know that we only have a certain amount of time per sector, but people in general, the pandemic, kindness in the recession. What did this lady say to you? She was going on calling you horrible things.
She'd done some fair jumping, right? So we're on the TTC, and she's, and I know her because I've seen her around my area all the time. She, you know, she's not bumming a free ride off the bus driver. She's trying to bum cash off somebody from the bus, from is actually waiting for the bus, or cigarettes, you know.
Yeah.
And so she hadn't. So he's yelling up the bus at her that he's not letting her on for free anymore. She's yelling at him that she's Canadian and has a house and she deserves to be there for free for some freaking reason. And yeah. Oh, that was just, it was just weird, man.
Yeah.
But I eventually I got to the point where I just said to her, listen, I said, you've made the bus driver stop the bus. I said, which is wasting other people's time and money. So she's going, oh, she's just told me I'm homeless, but now I must find the $2 for her bus fare.
Yeah, seriously. Sorry, I'm just putting on do not disturb so that it doesn't interrupt anything. But yes, like even that, just this sort of very entitled way of thinking.
Very much so. I mean, she's called me all these horrible names. And all I was, and once I actually had pointed out that she was wasting everybody else this time, the bus driver thought, yeah, I'm being a bit of an ass here because I am also wasting it. You know, you can't, they're in a position where they do have paying customers on board. You know, so he threatened to have her taken off by the transit police, but she got off 2 stops too early, so it was that.
That's the thing. And talking about identities, I don't care where you're from, I don't care what background you are, I don't care what or who you identify as. But when you're just being mean and shouting and just yelling words and name calling at people, that is abuse. Like, I'm sorry, you're not going to achieve anything by doing any. In fact, now you just look like an even bigger prick, because not only have you been calm and collected and be like, hey, lady, just, you're making this a bigger problem than it has to be. Everyone has to pay their fare. She's now gone, oh, there goes my rainbow. I knew it was going to fall off. Sorry, I'm just going to pop her down there.
That's the thing about being bisexual, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can take it or leave it.
Turn it on and off. Sometimes I'm interested, sometimes I'm not. That's the thing I get, though, is another thing is men, as soon as I say, oh, I'm bisexual, they're like, threesome? I'm like, no. I'm just like, sorry, I'm monogamous, and I just...
One at a time, please, people. What do you think I am, a freaking octopus of gaps?
Sexual
well, effectively, I suppose everybody is. There you go.
You won't believe how many times they've asked me, and it's just like, wow. So I'm just like,
is it usually the guys that ask that, or do the girls?
Always the guys. Always the guys. Always the guys. It's like the sexual fantasy. Every guy I've ever been with. Yeah, and it's just
that's the reason some guys want to be girls, because they don't get called perverts.
Maybe. But I've been called a pervert for being bisexual, even when I worked as an actor at an attraction. Even the guys like cover themselves up like, oh my god, she's like gonna stare at me, and and then in my head I'm thinking, honey, you're not even my type anyway, and you're good. I'm not checking you out.
You're good.
Get to my
there's nothing there's no bigger red flag than when somebody's expecting you to actually pick them.
Exactly. Like, they think they're so good, like,
hang on a second.
But then victimizing themselves.
And although saying that, you might have liked them at the time beforehand, and then at the moment they open their mouth, you say, well, that's not going to happen then. Oh, we ran out of time. You died. You died. You froze. Frozen. Hello.
We might have to stop.
Yes, we do. I went a little cray there all by myself, and it was still recording. So that's it for this episode from Tea and Booze. Yeah, we have to go.
We have to go. We have to go. We have to leave. We will see you next time.
Yeah. And please do like and subscribe, because really, when we're on a roll, we're on a roll. And
we're normally here weekly, but we've been a little bit delayed.
We shouldn't tell people films like that. We're never here weekly.
No, maybe we're here far and few between. When we're present, we're present. When we're not, we're not. Daddling off somewhere else. But anyway, until next time.
Love you madly all. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.